So right now, though, let's talk to Michael Blackely, who's political editor of the Scottish Daily Mail. There's a leadership race going on in Scotland for the SNP leadership. The next Nicola Sturgeon. Will it be Kate Forbes? Will it be Ash Regan? Will it be Humza Yousaf? They've been having some pretty heated debates and hustings over the past week or so. But there's now questions being asked about exactly how the voting process is going to work. Let's get Michael to explain it to us. Michael, very good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Mike.
Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, it's all turning a bit nasty up there, isn't it? Tell us what the latest is. I saw a letter that was written from, I think it was Ash Regan's people yesterday, asking for a very clear sort of explanation from Peter Murrell, who is not only the sort of the head of the SNP, but Nicola Sturgeon's partner. What is it they're asking him to prove or show?
Yeah, so there is a quite astonishing amount of mistrust within the SNP at the moment. It really seems to be a party that is at war with itself.
Right.
So yesterday, concerns were raised by Ash Regan and also by Kate Forbes' campaign teams about the process of this leadership contest. They've been trying to find out all the way through the leadership contest a pretty basic fact, which is how many members are actually going to be taking part in the vote. But not only has the SNP been refusing to reveal this figure publicly and to the media, they've been refusing to tell individual candidates themselves as well. So there's a lot of concern about this, and both those two of the three candidates are also calling for an independent auditor to be brought in to run the election, because there's concerns about the possibility of other things like people with lapsed memberships getting a vote, even things like potentially people putting in votes on behalf of dead party members. So it's pretty extraordinary just how much mistrust there is in the SNP at the moment.
I mean, front page of the papers up there, tell us the truth. I mean, that's really quite damning, isn't it? And there's a lot of people that I've spoken to in Scotland who say that Humza Yousaf is being rushed into this in the sense that he is the kind of continuity candidate. He's the guy that Nicola Sturgeon has kind of anointed, if you like, as her successor. And they're doing it so quickly because of the need to get it on before the results of any investigations that are going on, either into Peter Murrell or into the party itself, into, you know, loans, donations, monies, all sorts of questions being asked.
There was certainly a bit of concern from the Kate Forbes campaign about the fact that it's such a short campaign. That perhaps benefits the continuity candidate, Humza Yousaf. Yeah. Because it gives a little bit less time for the rival candidates to come back in the race. There are these questions about the SNP's finances. They've been hanging around for some time. There's a police investigation into concerns that have been raised that a fund that was set up for independence campaigning has been spent on other issues. That's a live police investigation. There's also concerns about the SNP's finances more generally. The chief executive, Peter Murrell, had to have the pretty unprecedented step of actually loaning the SNP money. So, and I've spoken to all the individual candidates about this issue, and none of them have any idea what the state of the SNP's finances is at the moment. Right. So nobody knows other than those at the top of the SNP, and they're certainly saying very little about it at the moment. And
Nicola Sturgeon, obviously a woman who was very rarely away from a microphone or a camera. I mean, I don't know whether it's different because we're just not seeing her down here, but she's not been seen much, certainly on the national stage. Has she sort of gone into hiding? Is she coming out and speaking much? What's she doing?
She is. She's doing occasional events. She's doing some things. No significant business certainly is taking place at the moment in the Scottish Parliament or from the Scottish Government's perspective. I suspect that there will be attempts to see what Nicola Sturgeon has to say about this whole row this afternoon. She'll be taking her penultimate First Minister's questions at Holyrood just in about half an hour's time. So I think there will be a lot of interest in seeing just what Nicola Sturgeon has to say about some of the concerns that are being raised about the way that her husband is running the SNP as its chief executive. Mm.
And I mean, in terms of some of the things that have been said at the hustings, Humza Yousaf says that he believes that he can get independence within 5 years, and then he says in a further 5 years he might think about getting rid of the monarchy. What's the kind of public feeling there about independence, as far as you're aware? Because the last time I checked, it wasn't much different to when it was in 2014 when the first referendum happened.
Yes, I think the recent poll that was out earlier in this week had the support for independence at 39%, which is
Wow.
a pretty incredible low.
Yeah.
It's certainly not progressed since 2014, and there are these indications now in some of the polling that support is dropping during this leadership contest. People are looking at the civil war and the SNP, and I think that might put off some people from thinking that it's time for independence. In terms of the way that Humza Yousaf and the SNP leadership candidates are talking during this contest, of course they have to talk up the prospects of independence because the electorate here are SNP members, and they want a clear idea from them that they're going to rapidly move towards independence. But I think the reality of it is that a First Minister that comes in will be fully aware that this, looking at the support at the moment, this is certainly not the time to be pushing a referendum. And I don't think you're going to see any real movement on a referendum anytime soon.
And in terms of whoever does get in, would they keep the sort of coalition partnership with Patrick Harvey and the Green Party or not?
That is a fascinating issue because it really divides the SNP. There's a lot of people in the SNP that think that the deal with the Greens has actually led to the government doing some things that they've got a lot of criticism for. Right. So we've had during the contest, both Ash Regan and Kate Forbes have refused to commit to the coalition with the Greens, whereas Humza Yousaf is absolutely adamant that it has to go ahead. In fact, Humza Yousaf has made the argument that any First Minister that rips up that deal with the Greens might actually struggle to be formally appointed by MSPs, because if they lose the support of the Greens, then they might not get half of the votes of MSPs that they need to actually be formally appointed as First Minister. So it's certainly another of the many issues that's dividing the SNP at the moment.
Right. And finally, Michael, I appreciate this explanation of everything. What is Peter Murrell's response to this letter? Has he said what he's going to provide them with? Has he said anything?
So we have heard nothing from Peter Murrell himself for quite some time, but there is an indication that we may well have some confirmation of SNP membership numbers at some point today. Senior figures in the party HQ have been talking about that very issue this morning with the campaign teams, and it does seem like they will confirm membership numbers, and that will be fascinating as well, because it'll be the first indication that we've had for some time of what the SNP membership is. When it was pretty high, around 125,000, they used to put it up on the conference screens and really celebrate the numbers, but ever since it appears to have started reducing, we've heard nothing whatsoever about it. So it'll be fascinating to see what that number is.
Absolutely right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much indeed. Michael Blackely there, political editor of the Scottish Daily Mail. Real turmoil going on inside the SNP, and